Welcome to the Explainer. So, if you've ever tried to capture true color in any light, you definitely know the universal struggle. You snap a picture of a product, a piece of fabric, maybe a cosmetic shade with your mobile device. You look at the screen, and the color is just wrong. It's either way too yellow, kind of blue, or completely washed out. Well, today we are exploring the source material behind the Calibra Color Camera, which is an app designed to solve this exact problem. We're going to break down how its technology actually fights back against ambient lighting to act as a highly reliable tool for professionals whose livelihoods literally depend on absolute color accuracy. Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at 1. How light deceives color. 2. How flash color analysis works. 3. Delta E scores and color spaces. 4. The 90% success criteria. And 5. Professional workflow and sectors. Let's get right to it. Section 1. How light deceives color. Understanding ambient light distortion. To truly appreciate the solution here, we first have to understand the physical problem. Traditional cameras are fundamentally at the mercy of their environment. They aren't just capturing the inherent color of the object. They're actually capturing the ambient light bouncing off of it. For example, look at the stark contrast on this slide. On the left, fluorescent lighting casts this totally unnatural green tint over everything. But on the right, the exact same object sits under tungsten lighting, which aggressively pushes the tones toward a warm, muddy yellow. This ambient distortion just ruins accuracy. So how does Calibra color accuracy actually work to fix this? Section 2. How flash color analysis works, the computational photography solution. So why use flash color analysis? Well, instead of relying on software to just blindly guess what the room's lighting is doing, the system uses its own calibrated flash as a literal weapon against distortion. And this entire process happens in a fraction of a second. Step 1, a pre-flash fires immediately before the main capture. Step 2, the system analyzes the ambient environment's specific chromatic contribution while that pre-flash is illuminating the scene. And step 3, it neutralizes the distortion. Because the software knows the exact color temperature and intensity of its own flash, it calculates the difference, subtracts that fluorescent green or tungsten yellow from the room entirely, and records the true objective color. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens with a single tap of the shutter. You don't just get one picture. You instantly generate 5 distinct outputs for comprehensive archiving. You get the D65 normalized image, which is the mathematically color-accurate main shot. You also get a normal photo for a standard visual comparison, a fallback frame just in case the flash couldn't overpower the room light, a confidence map detailing pixel-based reliability, and the raw buffer containing all the raw float and integer data. It is a complete analytical package all from a single tap. Section 3. Delta E scores and color spaces, the science behind the measurement. To really grasp this, we need to ask, how are delta E scores actually calculated? Delta E is a mathematical metric used to calculate the exact distance between two colors. To put it into perspective, a delta E of 1.0 is generally considered the absolute smallest color difference the human eye can even perceive. By relying on this metric, the system forces a massive shift in how we work. We are moving away from color as a subjective feeling or an artistic guess and shifting to color as a strict, objective mathematical measurement. Let's look at the pipeline that makes this objective measurement possible and how the color spaces work. First, it extracts your region of interest, or ROI. It then integrates the wide display P3 color space and converts it to CIE Lab to accurately reflect how human vision actually works. After that, it mathematically throws out any statistical outliers, so say goodbye to a random speck of dust or a harsh glare ruining your reading. Finally, it averages everything based on how confident the system is in the data. And here's the real kicker. This entire complex pipeline is processed right on your device hardware in under 1.5 seconds. That means your sensitive product data is never sent off to some third-party server. Section 4. 90% success criteria, measuring reliability and confidence. Okay, so you have all this complex data being processed locally, but how do we actually know if a specific shot is reliable enough for a critical industry use case? The app grades every capture using a strict 90% success criteria. It sorts your shot into 4 confidence bands. If you score 90% or higher, that is excellent and highly reliable. 80 to 90% is good, but you might want to consider reshooting just to be safe. If you drop into the 40 to 80% fair range, the app steps in with real-time coaching telling you to move closer. And anything below 40%, that's poor, meaning the flash simply couldn't overpower the ambient light. So, The absolutely crucial point here is hitting this 90% excellent benchmark. In the world of professional color matching, this is not just a passing grade, it is the golden rule for objective truth. Achieving this 90% score ensures that the color data you send to a manufacturer or a design team is mathematically sound, not just some rough approximation. But the system actually goes one step further. Users don't just get a sterile number on a screen, they get a visual confidence heat map. This feature visualizes the accuracy by overlaying a thermal gradient directly onto the image itself. It ranges from blue, which indicates low confidence areas like shadows or reflections, all the way up to red, indicating high confidence. This lets you see exactly where the color data is most accurate on the physical item, literally pixel by pixel. Section 5, Professional Workflow and Sectors, applying the tech in the real world. To consistently hit that perfect score, the app provides real-time shooting tips. Always use tap to focus, which locks both your autofocus and auto exposure. Wait for the shutter indicator to turn green. And definitely pay attention to the live coaching. If you're moving too much, the interface will actively tell you to hold steadier. For the absolute best results, shoot indoors or in controlled lighting. And critically, make sure you stay within the effective range of the flash so it can properly analyze the environment. And this brilliantly illustrates why the fashion sector, and really any demanding industry, relies on this as a professional photography workflow guide. For high-volume work, there's a burst mode for an automated shoot-measure-safe pipeline. You can organize your references into a product library sorted by SKU codes. It features an automated delta-E consistency check to immediately flag variations. Plus, any edits you make are entirely non-destructive. They sit on a completely separate layer, so the original measurement remains untouched. Finally, you can instantly export comprehensive reports containing hex, sRGB, P3, and lab metadata right to your production team. To summarize the core philosophy behind everything we've looked at today, the documentation features a powerful quote that translates in English to, "Color is no longer a feeling, it's a measurement." It perfectly encapsulates the profound shift this technology brings to the table. We are moving away from subjective, visually biased art and fully embracing objective, repeatable science in color photography. Which brings us to the end of our explainer, leaving us with this really provocative question. If color is now a precise measurement, how will this objective truth change the way you design, produce, and sell your work tomorrow? I want to thank you so much for joining me for this detailed breakdown of the source material. I highly encourage you to consider how applying these new, objective standards can elevate your own professional workflows. Until next time, keep learning and keep exploring.